Presented by Cabela's, world's best outfitter. Winchester Ammunition. Stealth Cam game cameras. Moultrie game cameras. Team Realtree. Redhead Materials. Browning Supplies. The Outdoors Channel. Mossio Camouflage. Remington Ammunition. Today on the Tactics of the Hunt, we are traveling to central Pennsylvania of the Whitmer Camp. The Whitmer Camp is 198 acres of land. This beautiful area has lots of wildlife, white-tailed deer, turkey, and much more. But today we shall only be hunting for deer and turkey. Let's see if Brandon and his dad can shoot the monster they have come for. There is 6.1 miles of road on the property. There are about 27 tree stands on the property. These stands are used the most. Tactic 1. Deer's Eye View. How do deer see? Deer only see the top half of their eye. Deer see the best when they are sitting or standing still. We see with all colors. Yet deer only see in two colors, black and white. This is how deer see you. You must break your silhouette while hunting. This is breaking your silhouette while wearing camo. This is not breaking your silhouette while wearing an orange vest. Now this is breaking your silhouette while wearing an orange vest. Whitetail can see movement fast. Deer trails. Here's a deer trail. Deer trails are normally the simplest way through the woods. Deer travel on different types of trails all day long. They normally have a system. There are main trails, there are some trails that aren't used that much. This is a main trail, studded up pretty well, and it goes down to a food source, the field. Trails normally travel to main places that deer go to. Here's another really good deer trail. This deer trail travels down to the field. The way to tell a good deer trail is to see how worn down the trail is. Some trails are covered in leaves. You want to see if the leaves are turned up. This one, there's a lot of dirt. That means the trail is really worn down because there's no leaves on it. There's tracks all over it. The dirt's even coming down the road. This is a good trail. Tactic 2. Food plots. Plowing the field. Done plowing the field. Clover begins to grow. Chicory begins to grow. The field will grow thicker. Days pass and the field keeps growing. Months pass. The field grows taller and thicker. The field is done growing. The weeds begin to take over. Deer will be in the field all night. Salt licks. Here's what a salt lick looks like. A salt lick is when you put a block of salt on a stump and deer will come up and basically eat and lick the salt. There's a lot of deer tracks around the salt lick. There's a deer trail that comes from where the tractor shed is, right here. There's another one that comes up off the mountain. Both these trails lead to the salt lick and to one of the deer's main food sources, the field. Salt lick. We're using buck lick or salt lick. This is an acorn salt lick. Put it on a stump, and a deer come up and lick it and eat it. Deer feeders. Just place a deer feeder around our camp. I don't know if you can see with our good camo, but right here, there's a little nice corn in it. We've seen some deer up here, turkey, bear, they all love corn. So I'm going to set a trail camera right down the stump right below this, watching the feeder, see what kind of pictures we get. Tactic 3, preparing for deer season. Important thing before deer season is sighting your gun, so you can make the shot that counts. Trail cameras. We have 3 different types of trail cameras: Moultrie, Stealth Cam, and Bushnell. When scouting, trail cameras are the best tactic. When you put a trail camera in the woods and something moves or walks in front of it, the camera will take a picture or video. Here are pictures from Moultrie cameras. Here are pictures from the Stealth Cams. Here are pictures from the Bushnell camera. For deer season in the springtime, you want to set up trail cameras. Trail cameras will help you see what type of deer you have, if they're buck or doe. Here we have a Bushnell camera watching this salt lick and a really nice deer trail that goes into the Day 1 of the tactics of the hunt. The woods at 6:15. You're not allowed to shoot until 7:05, so I began to wait. It's about 8:20. We've been out here for about 2 hours. Haven't seen anything yet. It's getting sunny. It's getting a little bit warmer. It's about 9:45. We haven't seen anything. Just lost squirrels. So here I was, freezing my butt off. I sit in my sand for about 3 hours, and all I saw was a few squirrels. I heard 4 gunshots, so I was saying, "Oh boy, we have 4 buck down at camp." It was lunch. I found out that all 4 gunshots were from one guy, Jimmy. He didn't shoot anything though, but he took 2 shots at one sits point, and 2 more shots at a different sits point buck. After lunch, we went walking down the rock slide. I was hoping to at least see something because we've seen some big buck down there. There's an area around it. Deer go back and forth. And deer go up the mountain a lot too. So, hope I get one here. So we were down the rock slide for about 2 hours. Didn't see any deer. So I decided to walk up to the point of the field because there was a storm coming that night. Deer know when a storm's coming, so they have to feed. Because whenever it's snowing or raining, whenever they're in the middle of a storm, all they do is just bed down and sleep. So they had to come up and feed, and the field is a big food source for the deer. So I thought, if a buck comes walking up over the mountain, I can take a shot at him whenever he goes to the field. It's 4 o'clock. There's 1 more hour left of deer season. We're sitting up here at the point of the field. I'm about to travel through here. I hope this is the spot to kill. Finally, Two-Toe came up over the ridge. They watched us for a few seconds. They saw us and took off. That day was unsuccessful, unfortunately. Day 2 of the tactics of the hunt. It's day 2. It had just snowed that night. Snow's really helpful hunting any type of animals. It's really easy to track animals in snow. It's about 7:20. We're in a new stand today. We're on Purdue Mountain facing State College. It's a really nice area. A lot of deer trails. There have been a lot of buck shot in here. So I'm hoping this is the right spot today. We were in Paul Stand for about 2 hours. Didn't hear or see anything, so we got up and left. we went walking down the middle road, hoping to see a few deer jump across the road. After lunch, I went to my stand. When I got there, I realized that all the deer trails that were around my stand were used that previous morning and night. I was upset, so I stayed there all afternoon, hoping to see some deer. It's around 2:10 right now. We're back in my old stand that we were in one Monday. We drove by here today and saw all the trails around my stand were used recently, like this morning. So we're gonna try to get them this afternoon. We're allowed to hunt until 5 o'clock today. There was 2 minutes left of the day. 2 doe came walking up over the ridge. Unfortunately, we were unable to record that footage. Day 3 of the tactics of the hunt. It was day 3. I was hoping to go back to my stand and be able to shoot one. It's day 3. It's 8 o'clock right now. I haven't seen anything. It's beginning to snow. I was at my stand for about 2 hours. I didn't see anything, so I began walking around. I went walking down an old skidder road. We spooked 2 deer. Couldn't tell if they were a buck or a doe though. But where I spooked them from, there were fresh beds and some older buck rubs. After lunch, we began a deer drive. Alright, so it's the afternoon now. It's about 5 till 2. About to start the deer drive. I have a good trail right there. Nice wide open area. The deer drive's unsuccessful. I went out to Ivan's stand hoping to shoot a big buck. Alright, so it's about 10 till 3. We just finished the deer drive. It was non-successful. We're in a new stand now. Lots of trails. There was a monster buck seen here the other day. So, I'm hoping this will work out. Ivan said he saw a big buck up there but wasn't able to get a shot. There was 4 minutes left in the day. 3 doe came walking down the trail right in front of us. That footage was unable to be recorded. Day 4 of the tactics of the hunt. It was day 4, the last day of deer season. I went back to my stand hoping I could shoot my first buck. Alright, so it's about 8:10 right now. Running a little late today. It's the last day of deer season. It's day 4. Just a fresh snowfall. A lot of deer tracks around this area. Fresh snowfall from yesterday, so this looks like a good spot today. Deer been moving a lot today. When I got to my stand, I realized that there was deer tracks all over the deer trails. I was very confident. After about an hour and a half, we get into the truck and drive around. I then saw a flock of turkeys on the edge of the mountain. After they were gone, we continued on. We went driving down a rock slide to where I was going to go hunting that morning. I looked to my right and I yelled, "Deer, deer!" It was a doe though. I took the camera and zoomed in on her. I watched her for about 2 minutes. Then we decided to drive on and doe hunting. I went walking down this old skidder road. I found this antler shed. There were all these deer beds and the biggest buck rubs I've ever seen. So it's about 2:30 right now. We're following down this old skidder road. And it's just deer track galore. We're just following this road. It's just deer feeding, buck rubs. We found an old antler shed. Deer trails all over the place. Fresh buck rubs. It's unreal, this nice place. Earlier last week, I missed a 8-pointed coyote down here. Maybe we'll see them today. I went back to the cabin. I was looking at the footage. I just realized that doe on the rock slide had antlers. He was a tall 6-point buck. I felt ashamed. I went back to the rock slide hoping that he was still there, but unfortunately, he had disappeared. At the end of the day, we were up on top of the mountain.
Told you we should drove down the mountain.
When the day was finally over, deer season was over for 2010. I felt so dumb that I thought that deer was a doe. Really, it was a big buck just watching. Tactic 1. Scouting for turkey. When you're scouting for turkeys, you want to see where the turkeys have been, whether it's for turkey scrapes or on a trail camera. Here are some pictures off a trail camera. Tactic 2. Food plots. We just put the second feeder right above the field. We have a trail camera right now watching the feeder. See how many pictures we get on the camera. Tactic 3. How to call in a gobbler. Then you wait and listen.
So here's how you use the push and pull call. You need to call.
Day 1 of the tactics of the hunt. It was the youth day of the spring gobbler. It's 1 week before the official spring gobbler. We just set up in the field. We just sat down in the blind and we hear a gobble.
This is day 1 of the youth hunting. We just set up where 2 turkeys gobble. So we start calling them in and see if they come.
We started to call them in. They were getting closer and closer. We heard about 5 different gobblers coming towards them. Just then we ran into trouble. I thought to myself, of course, just my luck. We heard a truck come up to our gate and turn around. 3 of the gobblers disappeared. We then saw him come down into the field.
It's 6:30. We just saw a turkey come over the top.
A few minutes later, we saw the other gobbler come running down through the middle of the field. Before we began hunting, I stood a rock up in the middle of the field in my shooting lane to show how far I can shoot. Before no time, they were in my shooting lane. They walked past my rock. I was getting really excited. Both gobblers were really nice gobblers, so I knew I could take either one, whichever one came into my shooting lane first. My dad was saying, shoot, shoot. I have a shot though. One of the gobblers hit the decoy, and the other gobbler jumped out of the way. The gobbler ran right into my shooting lane. I took the shot. him right in the head, a perfect shot.
Man, this was a great hunt. Came in here about 6:30, heard a few gobbles and we began to call. Then we heard about 5 different turkeys, and we heard a truck came up at the gate. But one turkey still came down the field, another one came from up there. And he was the closest one I could get the best shot with, so I took him down. Thank you, Lord, for this turkey.
Congratulations to Brandon. 9-inch long beard. Inch long spurs. 23 pounds. Thank you for watching. See you next time on The Tactics of the Hunt.